we go for another update on Bitcoin and the rest of the market. Bitcoin just keeps on going and going and going. We still haven't had any major correction, major pullbacks. So I want to give you my view on the market right now, what I see coming in the next few weeks on Bitcoin, and then we'll look also at a few other charts. So Bitcoin right now is flirting with 9K. This is right here, the weekly chart. I'm not even putting the moving averages anymore because we're just, in terms of moving averages, we're just ultra bullish. Nothing much to say this. I was already talking about it in the last video. So far, everything playing well on this side. But what I want to see and talk about here, I have to say it is showing some early signs of weakness. Yeah, the candles are getting shorter. The body of the candle is getting shorter. The volume last week was significantly lower than the previous week. Fair enough, it was a time of consolidation and so on and different. And we might see another crazy candle coming. But still, weekly is still really overbought. We're close to 80 on the RSI, which, by the way, we've been much higher than this in the past. So it doesn't mean that we can't go higher, but once again, I would be careful going in too heavy at these levels. You can see here both the stochastic and RSI, which could use a cool off. I think now at these levels we might see a correction and then again going higher, and I think that we will see again our weekly RSIs at these levels. It's entirely possible. So what do I see coming soon? Well, we had some key levels. The first one, I'm not even mentioning the 6K range anymore, but we had this here at 7,300 level. We passed it easily. We had another one here around, the lower 8Ks. We passed it also pretty easily. And now the next obvious level is between, let's say 9.5 and 10K, so the higher 9,000s. And here, because we're on the weekly, I'm just going to put the bar here. So this is the next big obvious level that we're going to test. I don't know if we'll make it all the way to 10K. And again, I'm talking relatively short term, yeah. I'm not talking in the big picture and the long term of Bitcoin. I think we're going to go much higher even than 20K. But for now, some people are calling for 11, 12K. That's the next level between 11 and 12K. And it's still possible that we go there, by the way. But for this video, I want to take the scenario in which we do go to around 10K, we test it, and we finally see the much needed pullback. Again, there's no guarantees. It doesn't mean that it will happen for sure. But first of all, looking at the charts, it needs to cool off at some point. Maybe 10K, maybe it will be there. I doubt that we will pass 12K without having a really significant pullback first, so everything can cool off and having some consolidation in this range and then breaking higher. Yeah, this whole area here, it shouldn't be so easy to get past. I know I said this about this area down here, about the 6K, and we just blasted through it. But I would still like to see a solid retest around the 6, 7K area. Some people are calling for lower 5, even 4K. At this point, I don't want to make too many speculations on that side. It is possible, by the way. It's still possible that, we go again below the 6Ks. Unlikely, but possible. So let's say that we take, 10K as the top for now, for this big move. Which, by the way, would only be the very first, if it was like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classic Elliott wave pattern, this would only be the end of wave 1 from the bottom here. So if we take this as the top and we want to draw, for example, the Fibonacci retracement tool, we'll take it from, let's say we go to 10, just for the higher 9,000s. Sorry, my bad. let's say we go all the way. I went a bit too high actually. I'll just keep this line here, yeah, to see. So we have a few options of retracements. What I think most likely we're going to see is a 30 to 50% pullback on the price of Bitcoin. Yeah, more than 50, I highly doubt it. But why am I saying this? If we go back in the history of Bitcoin, and again, you know, it's not always the same. History doesn't always repeat itself, but it tends to rhyme. And what we had here basically in the last bear market was this initial breakout, which is looking pretty similar to what we're having now, except for this, you know, big weekly candle. But anyways, we had a big run, which was, now if you take it from the lows here, 150%, so it was a pretty decent run, basically going to pretty much half of the previous price of Bitcoin, a bit less than half, which would correspond to the 9-10K area, by the way. And from there, we had a pretty strong, you know, which took a few weeks. We had a 41% pullback. Yeah, and then what happened? Then there was a consolidation in this area, and then we broke higher. But we didn't break again right away, you know, back to the previous high. We broke till here. So we had a nice, you know, from this bottom here, we had another, you know, 150% once again. And then what did we have? We had another pullback. Again, 40%. And then what did we have? We had another one here. So I'm going a bit too far. We had another run here, and again a pullback, which was this time a bit less. It was like 35%, and another one here, which was again around 35%. If we look, I'd like to see, so you can see here, for example, on the weekly, after a long time of the RSI being oversold on the weekly, we break, we become overbought. There was an immediate correction, and then we still, you know, we kept on going a bit high, but then this whole time of consolidation allowed for the RSI to cool off, and eventually there was an even much higher break. But we still needed this correction, and then this time sideways, so the RSI could come down to, you know, more decent levels here, coming down to the 50 levels. So this is also important to keep an eye on. Going back here to Bitcoin and to the current price, you know, I don't know how high we could go, but let's say we go to again, near, I'm going to put it here at 10,000 just to be exact, and keeping this line here at 10,000. And here I want to put it all the way down. Okay, now we have the most exact levels. There is one level here which you can see corresponds really nicely. First of all the levels are corresponding pretty nicely. The first here is corresponding to our, you know, lower 8,000 support, which so far we're holding quite well. This would be a first retracement, which would be about a 23%. A 15% retracement. Yeah, if we go down here, it would be about 15% correction. In my opinion, it's not enough. I think that we would want to see a bit more than that to have a significant impact on the RSI and on other indicators. So for the market to really cool off, I think the most likely scenario would be a correction down here, which then would be like around, you know, 30% correction down to the lower 7,000, and then it would be coming down to this level here. That is, in my opinion, already a bit more likely, and this is a level that I would want to look at and keep an eye on for a potential place to add to the position. I'll take this one off. This one is the first one. If we see a 50% pullback, this would mean, this is interesting though, because, okay, I see. And 50% pullback, which would be from this last move. So not on the price, not the 50% on the price, but on the last move. It's important to mention. This would lead us to 6,500 and really coming all the way down here. Then we could have this level here, which would, by the way, would correspond exactly to this 5758 support, and some people are calling for this, so it's possible. Lower than this at the moment, I just don't see it happening. I don't think we'll see 4,000 again. I don't know. This move here has just been so big. It's, again, I never say never, because you know I've been proven wrong in the past, and I don't try to make exact predictions anymore. But at this point, most likely we will find support around here. Some say that we're still, in a bear market and that we're going to see lower prices. As of now, I'm just not going to bet against the trend when I see such a strong breakout. Like, I just want to show you the monthly chart. We're going to close the month with the most bullish candle, like, almost ever on Bitcoin. This is really, really bullish move on Bitcoin. Almost doubling in price in 1 month. So I'm not going to try and trade against the trend. So one of these levels for me would be if, again, we top at 10,000, which I don't know. I as of now, I don't see it going much higher than that, because I think that we are losing steam. I think that we already had a pretty big sell-off, which, fair enough, here was immediately bought, but this was, what did we have here? Sorry, I'm just... Come on, somehow there we go. We had a 25% drop, 26% drop, which fair enough was immediately bought, and then we went higher. But this means that already a big chunk of Bitcoin was sold. And from what I see and the way I observe the market right now, I see the trend showing early signs of weakness, and this might just be by now the FOMO crowd getting in, and some of the big players having already sold a lot of their position. This is just speculation, of course, and but when I look, if you want to look on the 4-hour chart, the biggest candle that you want to find in terms of the volume in the last few weeks, even, it's this big red candle here and this one here. This candle, this selling here was just significantly bigger than all of the rest here. So I'm looking at this, and I think a lot of people had lower orders, and it just triggered right away because a lot of people were waiting for the sell-off. But I just don't think this was it. I think that we're going to see, it's not just in terms of percentage and price. Yes, it's not, because if we dump and pump the same day, to me, this doesn't really count as a full-on correction. It's also in time. Yeah, we've been now, like, Bitcoin has been in a bullish trend since December, basically. And it's not just in terms of price that it needs to cool off, but it's also time. It needs some time to at least some kind of sideways movement, or it just can't go vertical all the time. It's impossible. So at some point, it needs to correct, stay lower for a while, cool off for a while, and then the longer it stays there, the more it can accumulate and gain momentum for the next move. Yeah, and these things are very healthy in the market. You want to see those corrections. When you see something going just vertical, it's just more and more and more of a warning sign the higher it goes. So this is what I'm waiting for on Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to short now. I will not, if there's one lesson that I learned in this bear market, it was to not go against the trend and to not try to be smarter than the market. So as of now, most of my, my trades are just longs and longs and longs and longs, but I'm just giving warnings of early signs of weakness. And I think we could have some steam to fill this gap here, which would be another $1,000 in price. And my bet as of now is that we will go lower, but I'm not placing shorts here at 10K. I'm not I'm also ready to be wrong and for the chart to go higher. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna wait. I'm just waiting. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see how the chart behaves. I'm waiting mostly for, of course, I'm keeping an eye on the daily, but also I want to see a clear, kind of bearish sign on the weekly, because as of now, trading these large time frame is working pretty well on Bitcoin. Actually, if you just follow the weekly, you could have made some pretty good money. So just following here the daily also, less than that, of course, I do a lot of like high leverage trading on the 1 minute chart and so on, which is completely different game. But in terms of really adding or selling positions for my portfolio holdings, I look mostly at the daily and the weekly. So that's all I think I want to share for now. I don't want to go too deep into other stuff. We could look into other charts, but I don't want to take too much of your time. Some people are asking, what do you think of altcoins right now? I want to see how the Bitcoin dominance chart is going to play out. It's showing some signs of weakness here, but it could again go higher. So as long as I don't have a clear bearish sign on the Bitcoin dominance chart, I'm not going too heavy on alts, although we are starting to get some positions here and there. And some alts are doing quite good actually. The last few weeks, one of the best gainers was Link. And we had a really nice, we caught like 45% gain here in the premium channel. And I was sharing this today with the free channel on Telegram. By the way, if you want to join us, please do. Golden Bulls free here on Telegram. You can join us. I'll put the link in the description. If you want to have a free course, I'm giving you access to the first module of my trading course. If you want to have a free course on how to, it's basically the basics of how to get started with trading, how to have the correct mindset, the investing 101 and everything you need to know about being an investor and a trader. So it's a really nice 1 hour online training that I'm giving you totally for free. You just have to go to goldenbullscrypto.com. Once again, the link will be in the description. You just give your email and then you have instant access. You don't even have, it's just immediate. You get straight access to it. It's 4 videos, 1 hour of training. It's for you to take for free. So this is my gift to you. And come and join the free channel here, because we give some market updates. We share also our gains with the community, and so on. Here I was sharing a post on how I doubled my money in one trade. That someone had sent me half a Litecoin for the monthly subscription, and I sent it to the exchange, trading it on the 1 minute chart, and I turned this $50 into 100 in one trade. So you can message me at any time if you want to learn how to do this. So this is it, I think, for this video. I'm staying away still from a lot of altcoins as long as we don't see a change of trend for Bitcoin. Okay, this is it for now. Please like and subscribe this video if this was useful to you, and I'll see you in the next one.